Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie, with my guy, Mr. Mike Zappy, out in San Antonio, Texas.
Yep.
Tonight, we are going to be discussing MLB's opening day and our reactions. Rather exciting day for Zappy and myself, as both our respective teams, the defending world champion Texas Rangers
Say that one more
and
time.
and the New York Yankees, both were victorious today. Zappy, they all count. And the truth is, our victory puts you a game ahead of the Houston Astros. Very exciting day. In your team's case, it is the first time that you are ever starting a season as the defending champion. In our case, it is the first game of Juan Soto being a Yankee, and he paid dividends today. Huge, huge play in the bottom of the ninth to get the second out of the inning to prevent the tied ball game and to stop Houston from making a comeback because Clay Holmes did have a bit of a rocky ninth. He also drew two walks and got a single today. A lot of statements made today, too. You know, the Baltimore Orioles really putting a crushing on a piss poor Los Angeles Angels team. But your thoughts, Zappy?
I mean, first of all, it's impressive wins by both the Yankees and Rangers. Yankees being down 4-0 and had to overcome adversity to win that one. The Rangers, they being down, and then the game was tied. And when that umpire called a foul ball, a passed ball, and it led to a run that allowed the Cubs take the lead. It was kind of one of those adversity moments. And of course, bottom of the inning, Travis Jankowski comes out, and the last guy you would expect to hit a solo home run, but he does it. And of course, it led to the bottom of the 10th. I'm sorry, the 11th inning, and the Rangers were able to pull it off, man. Jonah Heim coming up with bases loaded, great game, and I mean. It was a great game all in all by my Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi, he pitched a phenomenal game. Yet again, a lot of the balls were coming off his bat at over 100 miles per hour, so that was a bit concerning, but he still managed to only give up one run in the game. So great job pitching. And then Texas's defense, again, was on point. And how about Adolis Garcia coming out and hitting that solo blast and leaving off or coming back just where he left off, what he was doing in the ALCS last year and in the World Series, and to carry it over to game one. It was unbelievable. But last but not least, man, I gotta send a shout out to Wyatt Langford. He's my pick to win American League Rookie of the Year, and the amount of respect that this kid got in his first Major League Baseball game as a 22-year-old was unbelievable. I mean, the kid gets walked in a situation where he could have easily drove in a run, and it just hats off to him. And this is a kid that is possibly the next rookie that can hit over 40 home runs his first season. That's the kind of level he's at. But, I am impressed with the Orioles, coming out and their bats were going and winning that game 11-3 off of 10 hits. And, the Dodgers, I have to send a shout out to the Dodgers, even though we know they're in the media right now because of what's going on with Shohei. I mean, the guys came out 7-1, and guys like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman both get a home run. Shohei was 2 for 3 today. So all in all, a great first day in baseball. And I mean, shoot, dude, it's crazy because in the American League East, I know it's only the first week, but the American League East, everyone but Tampa Bay won their game. Well, Boston is winning right now late. And then in the American League West, everyone lost with the exception of Texas. Well, Seattle and Oakland are both down right now late in their respective games. So, it's first game, but you could always tell a lot by your team in the first game. And for the Astros to blow a 4-0 lead, that's kind of one of those that we saw an issue with their bullpen last year when they would blow games like that, and it was never their closer. So I still don't understand why they would have brought in Josh Hader and have two closers on their team. But again, their bullpen let them down, and here we are. You guys come back 5-4 and give it up to Juan Soto throwing out. I can't remember who it was he threw out to prevent the tying run from scoring. So
Yeah, the thing that this is a psychological win for the Yankees because the Astros have been the biggest thorn in their side pretty much since the 17 season, preventing the Yankees from winning the World Series or getting to the World Series. And, I think it's huge because it shows a lot of resolve to come back from 4 runs down. You have Aaron Judge saluting Juan Soto after the play was challenged, and it was official that he did indeed gun down the runner. Clay Holmes also showing some toughness because he was able to get Altuve to break a bat on his patented sinker. And, when you go into the year and Garrett Cole, who is the American League reigning Cy Young Award winner, you don't know for sure when you're getting him back, but if things go well, the Yankees are expecting early June. And that is a huge player to overcompensate and overcome his absence. So for the Yankees to go into a very tough place historically for them and to get the kind of victory they did, and guys stepping up. I mean, Oswaldo Cabrera put them up for good. You're talking about getting heroism from unlikely sources. That was huge. Anthony Rizzo, a guy who year in and year out has a knack for getting hit by pitches, drove in a run by literally getting hit by a pitch today. And it's a good win. And what I enjoyed is the chemistry that I already see between Aaron Judge, the captain, and the hot free agent the hot trade, soon to be a free agent acquisition, Juan Soto. And this is a kind of a feel out for both parties. It's a feel out for Juan Soto to see if he wants to be a Yankee long term. And it's a feel out for the Yankees to see if they want to invest in Juan Soto long term. But I must admit, there's a different kind of atmosphere and electricity with that guy, not only in the lineup, but also in the outfield. And I just really like what I saw today. It's hard not to feel good right now.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, first game. I mean, looking at the stats for Nestor Cortez, he didn't have a bad game. 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 5 Ks. That's not too bad for your first game of the year, considering that you're not normally the opening day starter. But you got to give it up to him, man. The Yankees faithful, your players, they all did good. I mean, one of the biggest things that hurt the Yankees last year was your hitting. And today, only 2 players did not manage to get a hit, but they still got on base. So every one of the Yankees players got on base today. That says a lot, because obviously we know with the pitching going on with the Yankees and Garrett Cole, you're going to need run support like days like today in order to pull up these wins. You're going to need things like worked well for the Rangers last year.
Well, the thing that feels good about this is that you do overcome the 4-0 lead. And I'll be honest with you, the 4-0 deficit, I should say. And I'll be honest with you, they shut it down. The bullpen did. Not to mention that 2 different times in this ball game, the Yankees hit into double plays with the bases loaded, which is actually something to feel good about. Which tells me that the Yankees are going to score some runs this year because it's not every day that you're going to hit into 2 double plays with the bases loaded. I believe that even if they come through on one of those instances, the Yankees potentially win by 3 runs today. But, Jonathan Loaisiga did get the pitch count up. He gutted it. Clay Holmes had a bit of a rocky ninth, but did enough to overcome it. And, of course, when Juan Soto guns down the guy, potentially tying the game, at that point, you just know that Clay's going to make the final out because he just got the huge lift up from his defense.
Mm-hmm.
And what excites me is the trade that we made. Ben Rortvedt headed to Miami, and we're getting a very accomplished third baseman, a guy who I personally believe is going to probably push LeMahieu more into the bench utility role. And LeMahieu is always valuable because, guys get hurt. If Torres goes down, he plays second. If Rizzo goes down, he plays first. But Berti is definitely going to be playing third. And when I look at his numbers, and when I say to myself what he could do over the course of a full season, That is exciting. Very exciting. And it's kind of like one of those pickups where you feel like you're really getting a quality player who can contribute to this lineup, plus contribute defensively rather quickly. And it's those kind of moves that you make during the course of the year that can drive you to essentially the difference between being a team that makes the playoffs and a team that could be talking about going deep into the playoffs and potentially bringing home a World Series. But like I said, natural to overreact on the first day of the Major League season, but a ton to feel good about.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, not to change the subject on you, but I just got to give a score update. Alabama, are up by 5 right now against North Carolina with just over 3 minutes left, 82 to 77, 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. They just hit a critical three to extend their lead. So we might have ourselves a possible upset tonight in NCAA basketball. We know UConn came out and, I mean, they just manhandled San Diego State in the second half of that game. It was close early. San Diego State was within 9 at halftime, and then after that they just took off. And shout out to Clemson. You know, they took care of business today, beating U of A, and we have a 6 seed in the Elite Eight. So that was another upset for today. And the other game going on right now, we have Illinois playing against. Man, give me 1 second. I forgot who they were playing. Iowa State, I apologize. And Illinois right now still maintaining a 9-point lead about midway through the second half. So definitely some upsets today on the horizon. And I thought tomorrow would have been more of the upset day.
Friend of the show, Jeff Elder, actually works at Amway Arena, and he gave me a cool little pic of the overhead for Knicks and Magic. I wanted to ask you, Zappy, because I was at work all day. Would you be able to fill me in on what the deal is with the Knicks and the Magic and who ended up winning that game tonight out in Amway?
They didn't play tonight.
Never mind. I must have accidentally seen a text that did not pertain to that. That might have been a previous Knick Magic game.
Yeah, the Knicks played the Raptors last night and won by 45 or whatever. But tonight there was only 2 basketball games. It's the Hawks defeating the Celtics 123-122, and then the Pelicans defeating the Bucks 107-100.
You know what's interesting, man? You know, basketball, like any other sport, is all about matchups. But the Atlanta Hawks really do play the Boston Celtics well.
It's the combination of Trae Young and Dejounte Murray. So for some reason, Boston has trouble with that combo.
Indeed. And it is very, to say the least, because I must admit, I just didn't expect that to be that complex for a team like the Celtics, who are supposed to dispose of.
And hey, and I'm going to correct myself, but Trae Young didn't even play tonight. It was Dejounte Murray dropped 44 points on them today.
Really? So Trae Young didn't play?
Trae Young did not play, injury due to illness.
Oh, wow.
And then Jason Tatum had himself another great night, 31 points. Oh, he had himself a double-double. And a couple of guys in 20s. Porzingis 20, White with 22. But yeah, it was for the Hawks. It was Dejounte Murray, Bogdanovich, and Hunter that led the way scoring for them.
Very, very interesting.
There is a good slate of games for tomorrow, though. I know the Warriors. You know, the Warriors are in a battle right now. I forgot to mention that yesterday, but they ended up winning yesterday after Draymond Green's ejection in the first 3 minutes, and it's incredible to say, but they are still maintaining their 1-game lead on the Houston Rockets. And the Rockets, a team that has won 10 games in a row. Can you believe that? Do you need me to say that again? Did I come out clear? 10 games in a row? And just to see Houston battling for that number 10 spot, because the Lakers have a pretty comfortable lead right now on the Warriors, 2.5 games with, I think, 10 games left or so, depending on which team you're talking about. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. We're coming down to the end of it. March Madness, we're in the Sweet 16 right now. Baseball just got started. Hockey is deep in. Like, man, it's a good time right now.
No, it's a really good time. And speaking of good times, I got to reiterate, man, I had such an excellent time on last night's show.
Oh yeah, it was last night. Both shows were great. The first show was great. We got a surprise visitor, and it just took the show to the next level. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I love nights like that. Yes, come on. Carolina is now down by one with 2 minutes left. They have the ball. 25 seconds left on the game clock right now, and a foul was called on Alabama. So here we go, 2 minutes, man. Another game of March Madness, man. Of course, I'm pulling for North Carolina. They're obviously the team I picked to win this tournament.
I had Carolina going to the Final Four in all three
Losing
brackets, but not
and
making the actual final.
right, you have them losing to UConn each time, right?
Actually, I take that back. In one of my brackets, I did have them losing to Houston, actually.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people picked Houston or North Carolina. I'm sorry, North Carolina or UConn to represent that side of the bracket,
But
while on the other side is more picks.
the kind of win that UConn had today, I think really solidifies them as just a legit threat.
Yeah, after watching them today, they should be representing their region in the Final Four. I have no doubt
I,
in my mind that when at next week's region or tomorrow's regional final, that they will win the game. I'm sorry, Saturday's. And
no,
North Carolina is now up by 1 point, 83-82 with 2 minutes left.
back to baseball for a second. Something I did want to say. Another thing that was a telltale today is the teams that are considered elite really sent out some messages today. Your Rangers, my Yankees, Chris's Orioles, the Dodgers also putting out quite the statement today. And like I said, one day, just one day, but it's a good energy. It's a good energy. Baseball feels really good right now.
Yeah, it's
Like,
good to have it back.
yeah, no, for sure. And I'm sure for you, watching your team win it all last year, there's a different kind of vibe that you're feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, not gonna lie, the highlight of the game, in my opinion, was before the game even started. And that was watching the World Series trophy being presented to the fans with Bruce Bochy giving a speech, and then the unveiling of the banner. I mean, that it was a beautiful moment, and it was just like no Texas Rangers fan has ever seen that before. So it was a moment to take in, even if you weren't present at the game. Just me and my kids stood there and just admired that moment. So I love it. It's just because, like you said, I've never felt this before with my Texas Rangers. They're the only professional sports team up until now that had never won a championship. That of my team, should I say?
No, it's exciting for sure.
But I forgot to mention, man. With all the talk about how the Yankees Orioles looked, the Blue Jays they sent the message today as well. Um, I know we've talked about them. They're the team that's like they're either going to be a very strong team or they might just sneak into the playoffs. But man, Vlad Guerrero today with that 450-foot blast, it was like, all right, message received. They are here, and they came out victorious 8-2. So I think the AL East, man, I think the AL East is going to be a competitive division, and if today is any inclination of what the season is going to look like, it's how I thought, where Tampa's going to take a step back, and then Boston, New York, Toronto, and Baltimore, those three, or Toronto, New York, and Baltimore, Toronto, New York, and Boston will be fighting for number two, because I do think Baltimore is going to win probably by 3.5 games in that division. But it's just one of those, like, I think the AL East, again, is going to have 5 teams right there at 500 or better. It comes down to if the Rays can win 82 games or more, and I think they can.
The
But I don't
reason
think
I
they'll have a
think
team.
the reason I think the Yankees get a wild card and finish that minimum second in this division is sheerly because I wholeheartedly believe that offensively the Yankees are going to be able to consistently score runs and have a day like today where maybe your starter has a rough outing but guts it, because you got to look at it this way. while Cortez didn't have it all working, at the same time, he didn't let the game get out of reach for his offense either. And, the offense was chipping away early where they just couldn't score. Like I said, the two double plays. But in previous years, the Yankees bullpen had to compensate largely for the lack of offense. I don't think the Yankees are going to have issues scoring runs this year. And even seeing Giancarlo Stanton get an infield hit, that was cool.
All it takes is some Jenny Craig, lose a couple pounds, and you pick up your speed, you know?
Indeed.
Little update, 38 seconds left. Alabama did just take the lead, 86-85, while also attempting a free throw. It's good. So it is a 2-point game right now with 38.6 seconds left. And North Carolina is bringing the ball down and call the timeout.
All
Just
right.
giving you some in-game updates, senor. And I'm really looking forward to how teams respond tomorrow. That's more what I'm interested in. Obviously night one is over. World Series championship unveiling for the Rangers. How do they come back after trailing, and how do the Cubs respond? That's what I'm interested to see, because I think you do as well, but I think the Cubs are going to be a solid team this year, and I do think they're going to win their division. So I really want to see how they respond. And the other thing too, during the game, one thing to mention is the Cubs did suffer a setback tonight. As what inning was it in? I want to say it was in the fifth inning. Yeah, in the fifth inning, their ace, Justin Steele, he came up, he pulled his hamstring pretty hard. He was covering a bunt by Taveras that got him out, but the way he covered it, you could see his hamstring hyperextend or something. So it's something that's going to be monitored right now, but something that does not look good for the Cubs right now. But the good thing for the Cubs this season, they don't play anyone in the NL Central for their first month and a half of the year. So if
Which,
there's ever a time to be losing games, it'd be right now.
which is pretty wacky when you think about it, but it's a different kind of baseball scheduling because in the old days, well, the old days being a few years ago, you played 19 games against each one of your divisional foes, and that got reduced to 12, which opened the door for everyone to literally play everyone. I thought I wasn't going to like it because I used to enjoy the novelty of interleague, but the truth is, it makes the game better. If I had one thing that I would want to do, add, um, I think add. I feel like it. You got to at least play your division 15 times each. If they could maybe up the schedule to maybe, I don't know, 171 maybe, or one. I don't know. I'd be a little happier with that. But 161 is still quite a few games. But I guess there's two ways to look at it because you know do people really want to see the Dodgers play the Rockies more than they have to?
No, I would much rather see more Nationals versus the Tigers and Royals than watching the Nationals play the Braves 18 times, you know?
Yeah, they need to. They should give the fans money for coming to those kind of games.
Shit, I think
Tomorrow's
they
gonna be
actually pay for them to come. They give them food and beer and everything, and they still can't get fans in the seats.
Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies. Always a very heated rivalry between those two, regardless of what those respective teams are doing from season to season. So I do expect uh, some electricity. Even though I'm not a Met fan, I am looking forward to Edwin Diaz returning to see if he returns to form as being one of the finest closers in Major League Baseball. He had a hell of a World Baseball Classic. Sadly, he got injured. That's what led to him not playing last year. He's injured celebrating. Very sad, very freak accident. But I do like the Mets pickup of JD Martinez. I actually think he gives that lineup a little diversification. So I do believe that in that regard, um, that's going to be huge for that lineup. It's going to help guys like Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor. I still don't have the highest expectations for the Mets, but I got this weird vibe that they're going to do better than they're supposed to this year. I don't necessarily think that means a wild card, but I think they're going to have a winning record.
Yeah, they're an interesting story. I definitely want to know how they come out. And yeah, I am excited. And the fact that they're playing the Brewers, it almost seems like there's going to be that save opportunity tomorrow night or tomorrow
Yeah,
afternoon, should I say?
and the other thing too is that I find interesting is with the Mets, and then you got the Braves, Phillies. These are all teams that got rained out. With the Mets is that you know Steve Cohn, after throwing his money around and things didn't go exactly the way they planned, they had a short stay in the playoffs. Then they moved on from two future Hall of Famers in Verlander and Scherzer. They were fighting for the rights to make the World Series last year. Scherzer got it. DeGrom, the former Met, gets a ring without throwing a pitch for the Rangers. Well, he threw a few pitches, but he got hurt early. Um, so I'm curious to see how the Mets respond, what the Mets spending habits are going to be, because Uncle Stevie ran a lot of games, so to speak. Give me 1 second, Zappy.
We have 1.2 seconds left in the game. Alabama is up 89-87 and will be shooting free throws. Did I lose you?
You did not.
Okay. I didn't know if I was talking to myself there. Yeah, so it looks like we're about to have ourselves a big upset in the tournament with our first one seed going down from the West region. So like I said, 1.2 seconds left. Bama still has to inbound the ball, and then a foul needs to be drawn here. So Carolina is literally praying here for something to happen. And they have Alabama is literally lining up in a football formation right now.
Oh, wow. Well, before we get out of
Oh,
here, I
well,
want
North
how this
Carolina. Sorry, bud.
before we get out of here, I want to hear how this plays out.
Um, Alabama was forced to use a timeout. Their football formation did not work. So clearly, Nick Saban not being there has taken all football knowledge away from that team. But no, it's late, man. Carolina is. I mean, they're. I can't see a way they win this game.
Where is Michael Jeffrey Jordan when you need him?
Probably talking to his son about being with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife,
Oh
get
my.
giving him some pointers.
Oh my. Oh my.
What? That was too much.
No, it was just enough. And on that note, this show was just enough. Baseball is back, folks. Zappy, cool. I enjoyed it.
All right.
And I
Um,
found out I
well,
have entry.
you want to hear? Here we go. Bama's bringing it in. So there is six tenths of a second left. There should be more time put on. That was a really fast foul. So Carolina is going to need Alabama to miss one of these free throws.
It's over, Zappy. You know it.
Yeah, it's over. Oh no, it's over.
For Michael Zappy, I am Richie Hicks Jr. We have a couple of things that we're going to be adding to the show to enhance the product, and you will
Excited.
see it in the very near future. Shout out Mr. Nast. Shout out Chris, who joined us yesterday. Excellent, excellent baseball convo. Shout out to our man Brett Bandick, huge contributor to the show, as well as our guy Ryan Shed. We are looking forward to just continuing to give you as much content as humanly possible, and we are having a blast doing it. Until next time, I am Richie for the Richie X Jr. Sports Podcast. For my good friend, Mr. Mike Zappy, if you haven't already, please make it a point, like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie X Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. And Zappy, I will talk to you soon, and
Yes,
we're going to
sir.
make plans on the next time that we are doing a live, which may very well be tomorrow. I am off. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for all the support. We love you guys.
Thank you all.
Peace.